Yo, what's going on? I'm Bitmo. I'm Riot. And we're back to you with another Minecraft video. This time, it's only, Riot, because I just said. Anyway, the point of the video. We want to find out what car configuration, right? Spacing between powered rails. What is the best? What's the most optimal? What's most efficient in terms of speed? Because you don't want to use, if you're in survival, you're not going to use an entirely powered rail track because gold is pretty rare. It's like second most rare after diamond, besides emeralds, when we're talking about mining. So you're not going to have the resources for that. So what you're going to want to do is have them more spaced out, use more rails and larger space between the powered rails. So what's the most efficient configuration? A 2-block difference, 5 blocks, 7 block. Well, the thing is, I already did all the tests. I did 32 different configurations, each configuration having a powered rail set 1 block further away from the last powered rail. So for the first configuration, we had 0 distance between powered rails. Second, we had 1 block distance. Third, we had 2 block distance. Fourth, we had 3 block distance, and so on. It just keeps increasing the distance between powered rails. So I did the test. I didn't do it multiple times because it's 32 tests. I'm not going to do it 3 times or whatever. That's going to take forever. What is that, 96 trials? Not doing that. So I did do 1 trial for each, and I'm pretty sure I got them on the mark. So I got a graph to show the speeds with all these different configurations. And as you can see, even though, yes, the speeds do change, even though you have the speeds, even though the speeds do change, they gradually decrease. Yeah, they're pretty close to each other, fluctuating. Sometimes a further distance away, it randomly has more speed. It's fluctuating, but it's in the general vicinity of where it should be. Basically, it's just the speed decreases gradually how it's supposed to. So the highest speed, obviously from the full powered rail, is 7.8 meters per second. Now the problem with these results is, even though with the 32 block distance we have a 5 meter per second speed, that's irrelevant because this isn't the entire track. The formula I used obviously is velocity equals distance over time. So for most of these, they covered 100 meters or 96 meters, doesn't matter. It still gave us accurate speed calculations. So so I took how much distance they cover and how much time, and that gave us our speed in meters per second. So the thing is, though, it's not uniform motion. It's not all on the same speed. That's the average speed over the entire 100 meters, 96 meters, doesn't matter. It's the average speed. The problem is there's acceleration involved. The cart doesn't stay at the same doesn't stay at let's say, for example, 8 meters per second from the first powered rail right when it starts to the end. It's not like that. At the beginning, it's probably going to be around 3 meters per second, and then gradually increases to 6, whatever the max speed is. The thing is with these configurations is our max speeds. So if you're if most of the time, you're probably going to have a track that stretches all the way to, really far away. You're not going to have a 100-meter track. No one's going to have that. You're going to have it, connect different places. Like, Survival World with me and Blaze, we did a 5,000-meter railway, which was crazy, and it took forever, but we finally finished it. It took like a week to finish, and playing every single day, so we did it. You're probably going to have something along the lines of that. So, from the beginning, yeah, you're going to accelerate pretty slowly. But then once you hit the second rail, you start accelerating, you start, picking up more speed. And then once you hit the third rail, most of the time, you're going to hit your max speed. So, the readings we got for this 32 rail gap, it was 5 meters per second or something. That is the average speed over 100 meters. Now, let me show you actually real quick. If I take minecart right here, I'm holding my phone while I'm doing this, so it's kind of hard because my other microphone sucks. Now, if you look at this, we're going pretty slowly, right? Look at how the the Z axis is increasing really slowly. Okay, and then you see how slow the cart is, and now it's starting to pick up more speed. has more momentum with it. And now by the time it hits the third rail, it's at its max speed. It's not going much faster. That speed, the distance between the third rail, the third powered rail, and the iron block at the end, that speed I calculated was about 7.1 meters per second, which is only about 0.7 meters per second slower than the full powered rail. It's barely slower. It's not even 1 meters per second slower than a full powered rail. So you could literally have your, because acceleration, affects the results. It's gonna take you, let's say, first 2 powered rails to get to your top speed, and then once you hit your top speed, you hit your top speed. You're gonna, after the second powered rail, you'll finally hit your top speed, and that's the speed that really matters. So basically, you could have a 32 meter gap in between powered rails, and you'd be pretty much just as fast as a fully powered rail track. Now, if you don't want 7.1 meters per second, you want to go as fast as a powered rail would go, a regular powered rail, a fully powered rail track. If you want to go as fast as that, you're probably looking at 30 meters, a 30 block gap in between powered rails, or 28 block gap. I haven't done that. Basically, the most efficient track configuration that you would want with your powered rails, with your track, with your railway track, is probably a 32 meter gap, because then you only have to use one powered rail every 32 meters. Me, being the dumbass that I was, in our survival world, with our rails, with our 5,000 meter railway, I had five block gap in between powered rails, and that was extremely inefficient because, my god, it had so much gold mining. And then finally, when Blaze stepped in, he's like, yo, I found some graphs online and stuff, and they say that you could have a 32 block gap and still be at the same speed a powered rail, a fully powered rail, fully powered rail track would give you. I say a lot, don't I? But a fully powered rail track would give you. I was like, I was so confused. I'm like, what? And then, so I decided to do my own test, to test it out myself. What I found was, he was pretty, what I found was that he was right. He was exactly right. That you'll be at the exact same speed you would be on a fully powered rail as you would with a 32 block gap in between powered rails. Now, if you're doing the creative world, this is irrelevant to you. You could just use powered rails, obviously. Survival world, though, gold is not that common. Not as common as iron is, definitely. So, most efficient track would be the 32 block gap, and you'd be pretty much at the exact same speed you'd be on a fully powered rail.